Thus talking of things which my comedy does not care to sing, we passed from one arch to the next until we stood upon its summit. There we checked our steps to study the next fosse and the next vain lamentations of Malebolge, awesomely dark and desolate as it was. As in the Venetian arsenal, the winter through there boils the sticky pitch to caulk the seams of the sea-battered bottoms when no crew can put to sea, instead of which one starts to build its ship anew, one plugs the planks which have been sprung in many foreign parts. Some hammer at a mast, some at a rib, some make new oars, some braid and coil the new lines, one patches up the mainsail, one the jib, so but by art divine and not by fire, a viscid pitch boiled in the fosse below and coated all the bank with gluey mire. I saw the pitch, but I saw nothing in it except the enormous bubbles of its boiling, which swelled and sank like breathing through all the pit. And as I stood and stared into that sink, my master cried, "Take care!" and drew me back from my exposed position on the brink. I turned like one who cannot wait to see the thing he dreads, and who, in sudden fright, runs while he looks, his curiosity competing with his terror, and at my back I saw a figure that came running toward us across the ridge, a demon huge and black. Oh, what a face he had, all hate and wildness. Galloping so, with his great wings outspread, he seemed the embodiment of all bitterness. Across each high hunched shoulder he had thrown one haunch of a sinner, whom he held in place with a great talon around each ankle bone. "Black talons of our bridge," he began to roar, "I bring you one of Santa Zita's elders. Scrub him down while I go back for more. I planted a harvest of them in that city. Everyone there is a grafter except Bonturo. There yes is no, and no is yes, for a fee." Down the sinner plunged, and at once the demon spun from the cliff. No mastiff ever sprang more eager from the leash to chase a felon. Down plunged the sinner and sank to reappear with his backside arched and his face and both his feet glued to the pitch, almost as if in prayer. But the demons under the bridge, who guard that place, and the sinners who are thrown to them, bawled out, "You're out of bounds here, for sacred face. There is no dip in the Serchio. Take your look and then get down in the pitch, and stay below unless you want a taste of a grappling hook." Then they raked him with more than 100 hooks, bellowing, "Here you dance below the covers. Graft all you can there. No one checks your books." They dipped him down into that pitch exactly as a chef makes scullery boys dip meat in a boiler, holding it with their hooks from floating free. And the master said, "You had best not be seen by these fiends till I am ready. Crouch down here, one of these rocks will serve you as a screen. And whatever violence you see done to me, you have no cause to fear. I know these matters. I have been through this once and come back safely." With that, he walked on past the end of the bridge, and it wanted all his courage to look calm from the moment he arrived on the 6th ridge. With that same storm and fury that arouses all the house when the hounds leap at a tramp who suddenly falls to pleading where he pauses, so rushed those fiends from below, and all the pack pointed their gleaming pitchforks at my guide, but he stood fast and cried to them, "Stand back. Before those hooks and grapples make too free, send up one of your crew to hear me out, then ask yourselves if you still care to rip me." All cried as one, "Let Malcoda go." So the pack stood, and one of them came forward, saying, "What good does he think this will do?" "Do you think, Malacoda," my good master said, "you would see me here, having arrived this far already, safe from you and every dread, without divine will and propitious fate? Let me pass on, for it is willed in heaven that I must show another this dread state. The demon stood there on the flinty brim, so taken aback he let his pitchfork drop, then said to the others, "Take care not to harm him." "Oh, you crouched like a cat," my guide called to me, "among the jagged rock piles of the bridge. Come down to me, for now you may come safely." Hearing him, I hurried down the ledge, and the demons all pressed forward when I appeared, so that I feared they might not keep their pledge. So once I saw the Pisan infantry march out under truce from the fortress at Caprona, staring in fright at the ranks of the enemy. I pressed the whole of my body against my guide, and not for an instant did I take my eyes from those black fiends who scowled on every side. They swung their forks, saying one to another, "Shall I give him a touch on the rump?" and answering, "Sure, give him a taste to pay him for his bother." But the demon who was talking to my guide turned round and cried to him, "At ease there, snatcher," and then to us, "There is no road on this side. The arch lies all in pieces in the pit. If you must go on, follow this ridge. There's another cliff to cross by just beyond it. In just 5 hours it will be since the bridge fell. 1,266 years and a day. That was the time the big quake shook all hell. I'll send a squad of my boys that way to see if anyone's airing himself below. You can go with them. There will be no foul play. Front and center here, Grizzly and Halkin." He began to order them. "You two, Dead Dog, Curlybeard, take a charge of a squad of 10. Take Grafter and Dragontooth along with you. Pigtusk, Catclaw, Cramper, and Crazy Red. Keep a sharp lookout on the boiling glue as you move along, and see that these gentlemen are not molested until they reach the crag, where they can find a way across the den." "In the name of heaven, master," I cried, "what sort of guides are these? Let us go on alone if you know the way. Who can trust such an escort? If you are as wary as you used to be, and surely see them grind their teeth at us, and knot their beetle brows so threateningly." And he said, "I do not like this fear in you. Let them gnash and knot as they please. They menace only the sticky wretches simmering in that stew." They turned along the left bank in a line, but before they started, all of them together had stuck out their pointed tongues as a sign to their captain that they wished permission to pass, and he had made a trumpet of his ass.